people in here, they've been inside from the start. They haven't had to survive. And they just don't get it. They can't.
The very thing that makes you different is what makes you special.
Now I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
To fight for this city. To be the symbol of hope that the arrow never was. I am the Green Arrow.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Fandom Zone podcast. I'm Charles Skaggs, and of course, who is with me but the best co-hostess with the mostess?
Me, Karen.
My pal.
That's who you mean,
Yeah,
me.
yeah, my pal, Karen Lindsay. How are you doing?
Hello.
How you doing, Karen?
I'm good.
Ready for
I just
another?
took a nice long drink of my coffee, so I feel pretty good right now.
Oh, what kind of coffee? Was it the Irish coffee, perhaps?
No, it's just
Oh,
regular. I can't
okay.
have alcohol, you know? Ticks
That's
me
right.
off. But
That's right. All those wacky meds.
that's right. It is a French roast. Thank you.
Ooh.
A nice dark French roast.
Oh, we have the French roast.
That's right. Vive la France.
I can't do that.
What is it?
I'm reminded like Jacques in was it Finding Nemo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jacques, clean him.
Yes.
He is clean.
He's clean.
And the other little French music, and he toddles off.
That's right.
I love that. Okay, so hello everybody. Ready
We
to talk?
already got one. That was what I was
Yes. Jacques, don't clean the tank. I shall resist.
Okay. And
scene.
What is this bizarre
Shut up, you.
I think that might be the earliest
Yeah,
occurrence.
it could be. That's on me. I'll take full responsibility.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right. So, comic books on TV. Back to
That's
that.
right.
6 shows this week.
We're down one.
Yep.
And the next week is gonna be a little dry.
Yep. As we go to episode 37, creeping up.
Mm-hmm.
This week we have Jessica Jones, of course, continuing our run through that with episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
Supergirl, we've got The Flash, and
Mm-hmm.
iZombie, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, and Arrow.
That's right.
But as you can see, we kicked The Walking Dead and Gotham to the curb
Well,
because Lord knows we have enough shows to talk about.
they kicked themselves to the curb.
Yeah, they did, but I like to claim responsibility. All right.
Yeah, they listen to you.
Because, they do.
That's why.
Yeah. Me and my 385 followers on Twitter. Woo.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, now I'm depressed.
Stop it.
Well, it's even more depressing when you figure half of them are probably spam bots. But
That's not true. So not true. That would be 150. That's a lot of spam bots.
190 really, but yeah.
Shush.
Yeah.
I'm rounding down.
I could have a lot of spam bots. All right. So why don't we talk about Jessica Jones first?
Let's do.
All right. Episode 3, a.k.a. It's Called Whiskey,
Alrighty.
as a nod to how Jessica copes with everything.
That's right. Whiskey.
Yep. Teleplay by Liz Friedman and Scott Reynolds. Directed by David Petrarca.
That's right. David Petrarca of Game of Thrones and True Blood.
Ooh.
Liz Freeman, Xena and House. And Scott Reynolds from Dexter and The Following.
From House. Does that mean like Does it mean it was lupus behind?
No, it's never lupus.
It's always lupus. No.
It's never lupus. My husband and I say that all the time because we're at doctor's offices all the time.
That was one of the things I posted in the house finale that I was like, for once, let it be freaking lupus already.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's how awesome would that have been?
Yeah.
Okay, so we start this episode off with Jessica and Luke Cage having lots and lots of superpowered sex.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes the porn music.
Yep. It's already there.
Oh, yeah. And, they're because hot on the heels of last week where they found out they had superpowers, it's like, hey, I'm unbreakable.
Yeah.
So Jessica decides to give that a field test.
That's right. She does.
And she rides that for all she's worth in this episode.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah. And it ends up in some broken beds.
Yep. And the
So
neighbors complaining.
the neighbors complaining. But they were going to complain anyway because they're like really annoying neighbors.
Right.
So
And she's mad at her.
yeah, pretty much. So it's like revenge noise.
Right. Right.
As you do in
Sure.
especially when you're in an apartment complex and like the neighbors are being annoying and loud. So you
Right.
get annoying and
So
loud.
you do it back and then
Yeah.
they complain to the
Exactly.
leasing office.
Right.
And then you're the one that gets in trouble.
Generally.
Right.
Because life is unfair.
That's right.
Generally. Hate to break it to you, but yeah. So Jessica, after a nice little break in the action, Jessica goes and decides she's going to track down some surgical grade anesthetic to help take down the Purple Man, Kilgrave.
That's right.
And she, in kind of a dickish move, she uses Malcolm, the poor kind of helpless drug addict,
Her friend.
is
he her neighbor?
He's her neighbor, kind of down the hall, I think.
Okay.
Or something, or at least when he's not walking.
Or does
into
he
the
just
apartment.
hang around?
I think he has an apartment.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he has an apartment. So so she uses him, kind of like pushes him into a nurse's cart or whatever, and stages like, "Oh my God, somebody help him!"
Yeah.
And then while all the attention's focused on Malcolm, she ducks into the little medical supply closet
Mm-hmm.
and quickly comes out with that anesthetic and stockpiles. And of course, as she's leaving the hospital, she sees Malcolm. He looks at her, and kind of appropriately, yeah, she feels horrible about what she just did, as she should, because it was kind of a jerk move.
It was rude, yeah. It was very rude.
Yeah. Attorney Hogarth, Jerry Hogarth, played pretty severely by Carrie Ann Moss in this series.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, Trinity from The Matrix is now practicing law and is pretty cold-blooded about it.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She's apparently unwilling to risk herself and her reputation. Despite this doctor's testimony. So she organizes for Trish to interview Hope about Kilgrave live on the air using her radio show.
And that's kind of to convince her that the mind control is real, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, and then they bring up the whole Avengers thing.
But you do kind of wonder what kind of attorney would advise their client to speak on the air before a trial.
Right.
That seemed a little, unusual.
A little hinky.
But I think she did it because she also tried to manipulate Jessica into admitting that she was victimized by
the same person.
By Kilgrave.
Kilgrave as well, yeah.
Yep.
Well, she wants more evidence, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And she also she seems like the kind of lawyer that wants that publicity.
Right.
She's okay with that, with exploiting that case to get ahead.
And she's pretty ruthless about going about it.
Mm-hmm.
So
she's all right with it. And then, of course, Jessica is not that okay with it.
No. Jessica doesn't like to be manipulated.
No, and not just that, but she's afraid it's drawing Kilgrave's attention. a bit too much.
Right. Because only she really seems to understand what kind of a threat he really is.
Right.
And nobody else seems to get that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they really don't.
A guy with mind control powers, they don't see the potential
Right.
disaster.
Well, I guess it's because they haven't experienced it.
Maybe. Or they don't believe it really. Like, how bad could it be?
What extent
Yeah.
does he go to? But
or maybe they're picturing him like a hypnotist. So, like,
but he's had Hope kill her parents, and they seem to believe that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, maybe they're not like very smart.
Is it just not registering to them how bad he is?
I don't know. You think they'd take that more seriously?
You'd think. I don't get it. There must be some sort of disconnect that it's just not happening to them, so
right.
They're not getting it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No,
sorry. I just wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit.
No, I'm glad you did. That's what I was hoping for.
Okay. And I also wanted to talk about, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
When when she's trying to get the drug unsuccessfully before she uses Malcolm, she goes to see her friend
Trish,
and they're kind of arguing right outside Trish's door, and she says that the drug will inhibit Kilgrave's powers. Mm-hmm. And Trish immediately says, well, that's a big deal, and she pulls her into the apartment.
Yeah.
And I dug that Trish is like all over that piece of information. That in this case, I am so in your corner, it's not funny.
Yeah, that was like a game changer for Trish.
Right. And I love that she is all up in her friend's side about that. And then comes the revelation that Trish has been working out with the Krav Maga because she's got all these bruises on her body, and Jessica's alarmed by this.
Yeah.
But also kind of cool about it. Like, well, I don't have to worry quite as much about Trish.
Well, and that she's turned her home into a fortress.
Right. She's alarmed in the fact that, well, I don't love that Trish feels this threatened, but I like that she's protecting herself.
Right.
Sort of thing. And do we know exactly why she's done all this?
We don't yet, but we will find out.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Continue, please.
All right. So Trish asked that anyone who believes they've been approached or controlled by Kilgrave contact Hogarth. Mm-hmm. And then she goes on this big, she calls out Kilgrave at this point. And she's making fun of his penis, or like he's impotent,
right.
And said all this rage is behind because he's impotent, and just really trying to goad him.
Yeah, and Jessica shuts it down.
Yeah, Jessica's like, no, zip,
do not
shut up,
engage.
Shut it up.
Right.
Shut up.
Right. Do not engage. Do not feed the troll.
Alert.
Right. Danger, Will Robinson.
Exactly.
Everything.
Yep.
Yeah, cut it out. Cut it out.
I knew you were going.
We did the Full House thing.
The Dave Coulier.
That's right.
Yep.
And he did it before Full House, by the way, when he was on that You Can't Do That on Television show. That Canadian show on Nickelodeon.
I loved You Can't Do That on Television. Mm-hmm. So
he did that on there when he was on that show.
I loved that show.
Cut it
out. Yeah. So
we're idiots sometimes. You know that, right?
Shush! You're blowing
in a good way. It's in a good way.
You're totally blowing our cool exterior.
It's in a cool way.
Our totally cool facade.
It's like that ironic idiocy.
I mean, come on. We've got all these people to impress. We've got, we got Maggie, and we've got
Phil,
Jeff, and so yeah, we got
Justina. Oh, so many people.
Yeah, so we gotta be what they want us to be,
which is idiots.
Oh yeah.
They like us to be. By the way, just a little aside here. I love Phil's pictures every week.
Yes, thanks, Phil.
Those are amazing.
We should give you a shout out for that.
Yeah, I love those. The last one, it was like all the girls crying.
Yeah,
Supergirl
he basically does these little memes and he posts them on both our Phantom Zone podcast Facebook page, and then he also posts them on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I try to retweet them when I catch them in my feed.
I do too.
So
and then I post them again on our main Facebook page because they go in the comments section.
Right.
And then I post them directly on our timeline, which is awesome.
So do Phil a solid and check out his podcast when you have a moment.
Yeah, please. Because Beyond the Bat?
Before the Bat.
Before the Bat.
And then
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. He's got super.
I follow him and
the Flash Hour, Power Hour, and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. Philip Parrish.
Yeah, give him some love.
Plus, he's guested on this show.
Exactly, friend of the show and also guest host of the show. So yeah,
we'll have to have some guests in the hiatus period.
Yeah, I think that would be good when we have more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. And we
Anyway.
Yeah, we can
back to Jessica Jones.
Back to Jessica Jones. We hadn't forgotten about that. We just digressed. Shut up, Blaine.
No, we're not off topic.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. I was trying to preempt Blaine on that one.
No problem.
Okay. So Kilgrave's pissed off, of course. So he sends Police Sergeant Will Simpson.
Well, he calls into the show.
That's true. He does call in the show first.
That was creep-tastic.
Yeah. Yeah, and not just doing his Jessica.
I'm a listener, not a caller.
Yeah. No. He said, listener, first time caller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway.
So at that point, you should go like, okay, this is the guy that manipulated Hope. Yeah. Cops, please track this guy down.
Right. And it also means that he knows about Trish because it sounds like he's probably been listening to her show.
Yeah, well, because she's close with Jessica.
Right.
Yeah.
So Trish really does have a reason to be a little worried, at least in his direction, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So after this, then he sends Police Sergeant Will Simpson, who may be familiar to Marvel Comics readers, to kill Trish. But...
okay, now wait a minute.
Yeah?
Tell me about him. Because I didn't catch anything.
Oh, I don't want to spoil
it. What do I not
know?
It's
kind of a reveal that comes later.
All right.
I don't want to spoil it.
All right, I won't look it up either.
But let's just say he's more than he appears.
All right.
And now I'm going to leave it there.
All right.
Because we're doing this week by week, so I don't want to spoil what's down the road.
Okay.
Because it is, yeah. Okay.
I'll try not to look it up.
Right. Yeah. You're going to look it up.
No.
You will. I know that look. You're gonna
promise I won't. I promise.
Pinky swear?
Pinky swear.
Pinky swear. All right.
Okay. I promise I won't.
You did a little hooky thing. Okay.
Yep, I did.
All right. So Jessica shows up just in time to save Trish by being choked into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
She uses the anesthetic on Trish to make her appear dead, like mostly dead, as opposed to all dead.
Right.
And
mostly dead. Yeah.
Mostly dead as opposed to all dead.
Right. Yep. And so the policeman left.
Simpson, Simpson? Oh, sorry. Don't. Excellent. So yeah, he in his little addled state because of being controlled by Kilgrave, he believes Trish is dead, so therefore his mission is complete.
Right.
So he
wanders off.
He wanders off. So he feels that he carried out his orders. So
she didn't go down without a fight, though. I was kind of proud of her.
No. She didn't go down like a punk. She tried to use the Krav Maga on him, and it was kind of a brutal fight. He just kind of overpowered her.
Right. He was a little worse for wear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Jessica tracks him back to Kilgrave, who's, as we remember, holed up in this family's house, a really posh place, watching a football match.
Mm-hmm.
That's a football match, not a football game.
Right.
Because we're talking British football.
Right. Well, European football.
European football. You're right. Yeah. So, but
everywhere but the U.S. football.
Jessica kind of debates about whether she should confront Kilgrave. She's kind of watching him for a little moment, but then all of a sudden, Kilgrave orders Officer Simpson to go out the door, and then he's like, "Oh no, not that door, that door." And as he's pointing to the window leading outside off of a roof.
Right. Bye now.
So
and we see him stepping up on the little ledge and
yep.
Ouch.
Yeah. So Jessica, of course, has to drop what she's doing to kind of rescue him.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of pulling him back off the ledge, Kilgrave and Jessica make their first eye contact.
Right.
And we get the full reveal of David Tennant as Kilgrave.
Yep.
So was he as creepy and intimidating as you
hoped? I mean, he looks like David Tennant. but yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And all the pictures in his apartment.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We get this flashback of
that kind of adds to his sinisterness, though. I mean,
we get a little backstory. We see the moment where Kilgrave is telling Jessica to kill Luke's wife.
Now, this is just this incident. It seems each episode they're expanding a little bit on this.
Yeah, they're kind of like piecemealing the information.
Right.
So they kind of dole out a little bit more, layering it on as they go.
So we've seen, first of all, we saw that she did something with the bus.
Right.
And then we saw that Kilgrave was there and she flipped the bus next to Kilgrave.
Right.
And now this next thing is that she killed Luke Cage's wife.
Well, she didn't flip the bus.
Oh, Kilgrave flipped the bus?
No, somebody else flipped the bus.
Oh.
We'll get into that.
Okay. Well, anyway, the bus flipped.
Yeah, the bus flipped.
Well, don't tell me. Now you're ruining it for me.
All right.
It looked like she flipped the bus.
All right, maybe she did flip the bus.
Or someone flipped it with their mind or whatever. She was standing off, so I guess she didn't, but someone did with their mind.
Right.
Anyway, so Kilgrave is standing off, the bus flips, and it's just after she has killed Luke Cage's wife.
Yeah, she sends her flying like 25 feet or so.
Punches her in her chest.
Like crushes her chest.
Right. And this is after Kilgrave has mind controlled her into doing this.
Yes. Basically, Kilgrave, and this is, Kilgrave orders her to kill Luke's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And Jessica does so. And then this act kind of snaps her out of it a little bit.
Tries to leave.
Yeah, she starts walking off, and Kilgrave's kind of like calling after her, going, "Jessica, come back, Jessica." Or whatever.
Right. And that's when
the bus comes.
The bus flips. Right.
The bus flips. And
so this act, not only has she killed someone that she didn't want to kill,
right,
but the bus flipped.
Mm-hmm.
And it caused other people to be killed and harmed. So this is a lot of the cause of her PTSD, right. I'm guessing.
Right.
This one event.
Now, keep in mind, Kilgrave needed kidneys.
Right. So also the ambulance that came to the scene.
Right.
Is going to be part of all this.
Yes, so you kind of stitch this together.
So he was injured as well.
Yes, severely, apparently.
Okay.
So so it's kind of that was kind of a big deal. Yeah. Isn't
flip the bus?
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So Jessica ends up hearing this. She goes through the house, gets confronted by the family who is still under Kilgrave's control. They try to kill her.
Right.
She takes them out. And then she hears this noise of a printer.
Yep.
And not like the old Dr. Matrix.
Yeah.
So it's because it's 2015. Go figure. So
actually, it sounds kind of like the kind that lays down a line of ink.
Yeah.
Once at a time.
Yeah.
An inkjet.
Inkjet, yes.
Yeah.
Which is what I have, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate the inkjet.
We have the kind that sprays the whole page.
Ooh, that's pretty. I want that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so she finds
it also prints on DVDs.
So somehow, like, it keeps printing out all these things, pictures. I want to know how the cartridge lasts that long. But
you can get high.
I know if you had like one of those big like mega cartridges. But
yeah, you can get the high.
Yeah. Whatever. But anyway, there's like this whole big creepy room. Of stalker photographs all over the wall, including like this like 8.5 by 11
A mosaic.
Section mosaic, yes.
Yeah. Craziness.
Of giant, like giant Jessica face built out of that.
I gotta ask, how would you feel if you walked into a room that was pictures of you like that?
It depends on who was doing it.
I don't think it would depend.
If it was my wife, I would be like, oh, well, thank you. That's very flattering.
I don't know.
But
Wouldn't you do a double take anyway?
Kind of, yes. But,
yeah, okay.
But part of me would be flattered. No.
Part of you.
Part of me.
And then you'd wonder,
Then I wonder, is this person trying to kill me?
Let's go see someone about this.
Yeah, exactly.
And get you some antipsychotics like the woman in Jessica Jones.
I'm just going to tip out the door. Bye.
If it was my husband, I think I would want him to go talk to someone about this obsession. I mean, I love him and everything, but it would creep me out.
Hey, honey,
if it was anyone else.
Yeah. Hey, honey, it's great that you're interested in all, but I think you need to dial it back a little.
Right. If it were anyone else, it would be straight to the police station.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, into a bathtub in the fetal position.
But hey, who doesn't have a stalker room filled with creepy photographs? Oh wait, did I say that out loud? Oh,
right.
Sorry, that's on me.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Ooh, don't.
Whose picture's up in there? Jesse's?
Jessica.
Which doctor?
Jessica.
Which doctor's picture do you have up in there?
Maybe which companion? Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. No, just kidding.
All right.
Anyway, so Jones ends up having to convince Officer Simpson that he carried out his order again. Go ahead.
He also tells her that he didn't kill anyone.
Right. Which may have been a mistake.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you know that mission that you thought was finished?
You didn't.
You didn't
finish
it. Yeah.
But he was very upset about it. I killed her. So he says, don't worry about it. You didn't kill anyone.
Yeah,
everything's good.
Yeah. Because she knocked him out. She did this whole fake out where oh yeah, I caught you and we fell into these trash bags off the roof.
Right.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
Yeah, she's doing her own little Kilgrave impression there. Kind of a.
Yeah, these are not the trash bags you're looking for.
You and I were doing the same thing. A Jedi
mind trick.
That's right.
Yep.
Exactly. We both did the same hand movement, guys. You should know that.
It's synchronicity.
Yes, sir.
So last thing, we have Jessica going to Luke's apartment. And apparently all this stuff's kind of getting to her about his wife that she killed.
Right.
That we now know that she killed.
Right. And they did have a discussion earlier about it.
Right.
When he catches her looking at the picture.
Right.
That, oh, well, she was my wife and she died. And so at the end, she says,
yeah,
you got some baggage. I'm ruined.
Yeah. Can't handle a dead wife, huh?
Yeah, he is.
And you do what you got to do.
Right. And they kind of break up. Kind of.
Yeah.
They weren't really together.
Yeah.
So.
Jessica and Luke are kind of on and off again this whole season.
Okay. Well, they're not exactly the most well-balanced people in the world. So.
But eventually they get their act together.
Yeah. Well, she's not.
At least
she needs to get her act together first.
Yes, she does. Luke has his act together more than she has her.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. But right now, she not only does she have to get her act together, but there's other stuff that she needs to iron out before she can be with Luke.
Right.
So, and she doesn't even know if Luke is going to be a real thing or not. So
it's too early.
Way too early.
Too early to call.
Get invested in anything.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. What do you give this rating?
I give it 7 hipster bikers. Now, there's a reason.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about
the
hipster.
And you're going to be, well, the hipster biker, the biker that's all into the biker that's all into the green movement and all that Malcolm knocks down on the street.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah. I didn't like that guy.
Yeah. The guy is I'm trying to save the planet by riding my bike.
Right. I was like, come on, dude. Get over it.
Eco warrior.
Right. So that's 7 hipster bikers. And the only reason it was that low, and you're not going to believe why, too much sex.
Really?
I wanted more story. Right.
Jaw dropped, picking up off floor.
Well, I don't mind the fact that they had a sexual relationship at all.
Right.
But I would have liked more story.
Right, but this is that point where, like, hey, we've just discovered we both have superpowers, and we can really, like, go at it like superpowered bunnies.
Okay.
But
so show them going into a room, but I mean, don't give me a whole minute of them doing each other. It's fine that they're doing it, but give me a minute of story instead of that.
Okay.
Is all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
So, and you know, I'm not one to complain about that sort of.
You prude.
No, it's not prude.
I know.
It doesn't bother me that they had sex.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
It just seemed gratuitous when I could have had a little more story. Like, I would have enjoyed more story about what's her name? Carrie-Anne Moss's character, maybe, or
Hogarth. Yeah.
Just a little more about what her motivation was. Maybe a little expanded scene with her and Jessica in the office. Because she's still an enigma to me.
Well, we find out more about her.
Oh, I'm sure we do.
So it's coming up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I mentioned this before, but comics fans, there's actually a Jaren Hogarth in the comics that Jerry Hogarth is based on.
Oh.
And Jaren, a male version of the character, he's actually the attorney for Iron Fist.
Oh.
Daniel Rand.
And Iron Fist is kind of going to be in Daredevil, right?
Yeah, and
Haven't they hinted at that?
Well, Iron Fist gets his own show after Luke gets his own show.
Okay.
And then Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist team up to become the Defenders.
Right.
In a miniseries.
Okay.
So they may be all kind of already teasing. I mean, they've teased elements in Daredevil for Iron Fist.
Right.
So now they kind of might be doing the same for in Jessica Jones.
So they're tying some things together.
As well as setting up Luke in his own show.
Right. That's very cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It's all connected.
So what's your grade?
My rating is 8.5 out of 10 broken beds.
I think an 8.5 would have been mine if there had been just a tiny bit more content in it.
Right.
So, or at least an 8.
You needed at least that scene of the broken bed, though.
Okay, that's fine.
Come on.
No, that was funny.
Yeah.
I agree, it was good.
Yeah.
And then them referring to I got a new bed and all that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that was okay.
It was very funny.
There was a jokey payoff. Yeah.
But then there were like 2 more scenes of them doing it. And I was just like, oh, come on. They do it. Okay, I get it already.
I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're okay with it. I'm okay with it too.
I know.
It's just...
Move on already.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So speaking of moving on, see what I did there?
I see what you did there. Where are we going next?
Supergirl. Episode 7, Human for a Day.
Directed by Larry Tang from Graceland, Hawaii Five-0, the Suicide Squad episode of Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Yalin Chang from Pan Am, Dirty Sexy Money, and Ted Sullivan, Revenge and Rizzolian Isles.
Good job.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is a kind of a surprisingly big episode.
Yeah, I know. Now, here's something I wanted to say before we get into it.
Yeah.
Now, Charles Helford, they announced a long time ago it was going to be Jem, and it was like, hey, look, we got this big star from Constantine. It's going to be Jem. Yay. Look
Jem
for this
Saturn.
Right. Look for this guest star. And then they went, hey, don't look over here. We're going to do this big reveal in the episode.
And that was great.
Bait and switch, right?
I loved it. I mean,
I know.
This was the kind of the first episode that made me go, well, now.
Right. Those writers are pretty clever.
Supergirl kind of raising their game a little bit.
Yeah.
Which it needed to do.
They did.
In my
Now,
opinion.
I do have one thing to say. I gave it a high grade.
Right.
Because I liked the content of this episode. But if I had to rate based on how many hand waves I had to do in this episode,
Well, yes.
it would go down because there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's just my caveat before we start talking about
There
it.
are still plenty of flaws in
Yes,
the
plenty of flaws. But I think most of that is just, hey, we don't want to have to worry about that, knowing no one's going to care
Right.
about that sort of thing. But I care. I care about where her outfit is.
I care.
I care about why the elevator cable.
Are you saying that Supergirl shouldn't be able to change into her costume without, like, having a bag or something to keep it in?
Or where is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how. I just want to know where it is.
She,
it's not under her clothes.
She went back in time to the 1970s, changed into a phone booth, came back.
Yeah.
No, I know. But she didn't have any powers, so how could she do that?
You know, there's a cape and a skirt, so it's not under her clothes.
Right.
Like Superman can wear his under his clothes.
Exactly.
So it's not there. You know, does she fly all the way back to her apartment and then come back? You know,
yes.
Anyway, the elevator cable.
Again, she didn't have powers, so how could she fly?
Right.
So
the elevator cable that just so happens to be able to hold an elevator, but not James Olsen's weight.
Now she was driving around in her car, and she had the costume in the trunk of her car.
All right.
So you could be like, okay, hold on, let me go inside this McDonald's restroom and change, and then come back out.
Okay.
Or go in the back seat.
But like I said, there's lots of hand waves.
Seat of the car.
Lots and lots of hand waves.
Yeah.
You can see what I'm saying.
Yes.
But otherwise, I mean, the content of this episode was great. So I gave it a really high
And
rate.
the revelation was terrific.
Oh, it was amazing.
Twitter,
it blew my mind.
Yeah, Twitter kind of spoiled it for me because I wasn't able to watch it live.
Yeah, same here.
But
it didn't matter. It still blew me away and gave me chills.
It did, so.
Yeah.
All right, so we have inside the DEO, we start off with the Allura hologram explaining Kara's power loss to her as the result of a solar radiation drain.
Right.
So basically, she emptied the tank.
Yes.
And therefore, she has no powers.
Right. So she's got to recharge her batteries.
So really, she should be hitting the tanning beds and
or
you know, like
do that?
Go up on a rooftop and be like soaking, you know, with the tanning mirror.
Right. Why didn't she do that?
I don't know.
But she went inside to her job.
Yeah, let me go to my underground job so I can soak up no solar radiation whatsoever.
Right, where there's fluorescent lights everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Right. I didn't get it either.
Yeah.
Made no sense to me. And then, you know, she's surprised because Allura tells her, well, your powers should return soon, but it's 2 days later and hey, still no powers.
Because she's not in the sun.
I know. Yes. This is what I'm saying to you.
Right. Another hand wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although that's not a hand wave.
Seriously, bro.
Right. Seriously, bro.
Seriously, bro. Where is sun, bro?
Right. Go stand in sun, bro.
No sun, no powers, bro.
Right. Exactly.
It's not rocket science, bro.
How do mirrors work, bro?
Tanning bed, bro. Come out looking like Donald Trump, but you get superpowers.
I'm guessing she wouldn't tan.
No.
Why would her skin change colors?
Exactly. But
yeah. Okay.
Anyway. So, the prisoner Jim, not truly outrageous Jim.
No. Truly outrageous.
Yeah, I couldn't resist that. Yeah, Jim.
Not the same though, right?
No, 2 M's.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Jim, 2 M's, son of Saturn.
Okay.
Once again, we have, speaking of which, we have a good guy from DC Comics.
Into a bad guy.
Being portrayed as a bad guy. What's up with that, Supergirl, right?
I don't know.
I don't like it.
I don't know. But Charles Helford did a really good job, I thought.
He's totally unrecognizable.
I know. I heard his voice, though.
Right.
His voice was...
He's got kind of that rumbly voice, deep voice.
Yeah.
But other than that, you wouldn't, like... I mean, that makeup was pretty good to make him look nothing like Chaz on Constantine.
Right, exactly.
Nothing. You wouldn't make that connection at all.
He must have totally shaved his beard, which makes me sad.
Right.
But...
Well, the beard had to go.
Yeah, I know.
They can be regrown.
I know.
You're all about the beard.
I love beards.
I know you are. See,
I'm a beardy girl.
yes, you are.
But once I heard his voice, I was like, oh, that's Charles Halford. I know it.
Squee!
And I think he did a really good job. I mean, with the material he was given.
Yeah, he wasn't given much.
No, but again, he was the bait and switch on us.
Yeah.
So,
and we kind of get a little bit of a tease of this early on because he's like, he's threatening to break out of this glass cage or plastic or whatever it is.
Yeah, epoxy
whatever. Exactly. So he's threatening to grind Hank Henshaw's loved ones to dust.
Right.
But
I will reveal you.
Yeah, as a
coward.
Yeah. As a coward. What?
Right.
Yeah. So
foreshadowing.
And Henshaw mumbles that, well, there aren't any left to grind. Kind of to himself and a little sad.
Right.
As he says
Foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
See, and I keep thinking it's Hank Henshaw's family.
Right.
And again, I'm still stuck on this Hank Henshaw thing. And we're going to have to talk about...
It could have been.
Right. We're going to have to talk about the whole Hank Henshaw thing a little bit at the end.
Yeah, because I'm kind of wondering if the real Hank Henshaw will show up later.
Right. And the whole thing about Hank Henshaw is when he died, his consciousness was still alive. So his body could actually be dead, right?
Right.
And his consciousness could have left his body. And Jean could actually think that Henshaw is dead.
Yes.
Okay. So that's kind of my theory.
That's kind of mine too.
Okay.
Or that for whatever reason he comes back and there's like two Hank Henshaws walking around.
I'm guessing that's
something like that.
Probably going to be it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
So
or he's going to look like Cyborg Superman. You know.
Well, I think he'll look normal at first, and then they'll like reveal he's underneath Cyborg Superman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Outside Catco, Kara and James meet up. Jimmy,
after she's been ejected.
Yeah.
Having the sniffles.
Yeah, she had a sniffle. She got a wee sniffle.
See, and this is important because she was ejected for having the sniffles. So she goes outside.
And apparently Kat is a hypochondriac.
Of course.
Yeah.
She's everything to the extreme.
Pretty much.
So she goes outside to meet James. And I hate interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No. You're doing fine.
She goes outside to meet James and she immediately gets like tossed to the ground. And if you and I got tossed to the ground like that, it would be like, oh, I've got a skinned knee. Yeah. But she breaks her arm immediately.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing accident.
Well, to be fair, she was kind of like, she was thrown because James kind of pushes her out of the way of this car.
Right.
So maybe she just landed wrong on it.
Sure.
It happens. I mean, I broke my wrist once just landing like off of a small bike accident. So it could happen.
So, well, one of my excuses that I made in order to hand wave it was that she doesn't know how to fall right because she's not used to it.
Right.
Okay, so there's that. And then Jimmy takes off his shirt and puts it around her arm.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next time we see her, first of all, she goes right back up.
Right.
And Kat doesn't say a word about it, even though she had the sniffles before and she told her to go home. So she doesn't care that she's back.
Right.
And now she has a sling on.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole shirt thing, Lori sat up and noticed that. She's just like, well, now.
He's got a tank top on.
I'm like, it's eggs from True Blood.
Please.
Yeah.
He is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see where this is going. All right. So James says that he and Lucy are getting...
That's where it's going. Right there.
Oh, yeah. I had a feeling the porn music would get a lot of play this week.
Yeah.
Just a hunch.
Just those two. Really, right?
Maybe a little bit more later. We'll see.
Yeah.
So yeah, James says he and Lucy are getting a place together. We talked about the sneezing. James realizes that the solar flare power drained Kara's powers.
Right.
So that's kind of something they kind of recently introduced in the comics. With the New 52 Superman, Jeff Johns did a storyline where Superman develops this new solar flare power where he can go like really unload all the solar radiation in his body at once in a burst, but it takes away his powers.
Right. See, and that's why I just wasn't sure what had happened to her.
Yeah, so that's kind of a recent superpower. All of a sudden, though, an earthquake hits, as it does.
Sure.
And we talked about Kara breaking her arm.
Now, those are just natural earthquakes? Was there something causing them?
I kind of wonder. Oh, in National City, they kind of hint that is in California.
Okay. But, yeah, there's palm trees.
Yeah, so I think it's supposed to be in California.
Okay, so they're naturally.
Nobody seemed like pretty unfazed by the earthquake.
Okay.
Like, oh, we had an earthquake, but nobody's like, what caused that earthquake? You know, was it a supervillain? Was it one from the DEO or whatever? But
well, and in the Superman movie,
right,
there was a big earthquake as well. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Maxwell Lord goes on TV to attack Supergirl for not being there.
Mm-hmm.
James and Kara go off to confront him about that. Said, "Listen, Pally."
Mm-hmm.
Kara says that people need hope instead of fear, which is right up Supergirl's wheelhouse. So kudos there. That's the way she should be portrayed. Lord says he wants people to help each other, not get help from aliens.
And he mentions that he doesn't like what Kat is doing by branding things with Supergirl's logo.
So he's counter-branding.
And he's handing out water bottles with his name all over it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a sleazeball. Slime.
A sleam?
A slime
sleazy, slimy guy. A sleam. You just invented a new word.
I don't know why I did that. Let me pretend like I meant to do that.
He's just a sleamy guy.
He's a sleamy guy.
That sounds like something off of Futurama.
It does actually. Slurm.
Sleem.
Yeah. Let's watch some Slurm Ball. What are the rules?
This guy collapses with a lacerated vein, needs an X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gee, if only we had someone with superpowers that had X-ray vision. Oh, guess what? She doesn't have the superpowers now.
Nope.
And Kara tries, but doesn't work.
You gotta let me do that before you actually make the noise.
Well, I didn't know if you were gonna do it or not.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to. You can do like a signal, like the F or something. I don't know.
Okay.
For fail. So that way I know. So Kara ends up crying over her inability to save this guy.
Mm-hmm.
James tries to reassure her that a real hero never stops trying.
That's right.
So I guess you're not a real hero because you're not trying. You stopped trying. I was like, I did a double take at that line.
I know, it's not good, right?
It wasn't the best reassuring he could do.
No.
So Kara dons her Supergirl costume, as we talked about earlier, to stop the store robbery.
Mm-hmm.
And a pretty cool moment for Supergirl, I thought. I actually really like this whole sequence.
Yeah, me too.
She talks this robber out of what he's doing and gets him to give her the gun.
Yep.
Even though she has no superpowers, she's not bulletproof, and she just steps up, becomes a hero, and is like, hey, she bluffs her way through this totally.
Yep.
But it works. And Jimmy takes a photo. Excuse me, James takes a photo.
We can call him Jimmy.
Yeah.
We know him.
Of her doing this. So meanwhile, back at the DEO.
I need to get that little sound effect.
Sound effect, yeah. Jem, truly outrageous, confronts Alex, who ends up like knocking his gem out of his forehead.
Yep. And there's a bit of a fight scene there, and we had some feedback on Made of Steel that someone said that it wasn't a good fight scene, but I think it was because she was doing the avoidance, the tactical fight.
Mm-hmm.
There's no beating him hand to hand.
No, physically he's much more her superior.
Right.
I mean,
so she was doing the bait and switch sort of. I keep saying bait and switch. I don't mean that. She was doing the,
she was doing a smarter fight.
Right. And then she threw the smoke bomb in and distracted him and made it so, he was his own worst enemy in that fight.
Yeah. She tried to gain the tactical advantage over him.
Right, which she did.
Despite his physical superiority.
Right. And then instead of actually saving the other agents, the red shirts,
right.
Like Martian Manhunter would be able to do.
Right.
Hank Henshaw actually did not do that. He broke through the ceiling instead of phasing through it.
Right.
Like he could do.
Yeah, because Martian Manhunter can phase through stuff.
Right.
Yep.
And he didn't save the agents that Jem killed.
No, he just knocks the scaffolding down on Jem.
Right.
And then he knocks Jem unconscious.
Uh-huh.
And then...
So why didn't Hank save the other agent?
Maybe he didn't like the guy? I don't know. Hand wave.
I have a lot of questions about why Jean has done the things he's done in the DEO.
Yeah.
And I hope they answer some of them, but I have this feeling they're not going to answer them.
Right.
Anyway.
So at Catco, this gas line explodes.
Why is it up in the top of the building?
Good question, because normally they're down in the basement.
Right.
So,
and why do they know right away where the explosion is?
Exactly.
Why do they know who to call?
Well, it's only a 40-minute show. We have to kind of dive right through this.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Again, these are all my hand waves.
I know. The logic gap's just ginormous.
Yeah,
so
they are.
James scales this elevator shaft to help these people upstairs. He gets them to safety, but then another blast, conveniently, sends him falling to his death.
Right.
Which, of course, spurs the adrenaline in Kara so that she gets her powers back. And so she saves him, and then she goes off and a nice little reset to Superman. The movie rescues a school bus full of kids.
Right.
So
she rescues a school bus.
Yeah.
Which was very sweet.
Yeah. So that's So that
Plus, we have a moment where she sees the picture of her talking the guy down.
Mm-hmm.
And she and James have a hug, and that's when Wynn comes in and tells her about the recharge of her powers or getting the burst of energy, whatever. And he gets all pissy about it.
Yeah, Wynn is very pissy in this episode. He's just like, well, you're not going to have a normal relationship when you get your powers back.
And it's like, if you don't like me, then I'm going to make it so I ruin everything for all of your relationships.
Well, remember, he's the son of a supervillain.
Yeah, I know, but
or
still.
will become a supervillain himself.
Still, just
he's going through this whole I'm in the friend zone, therefore I'm going to be bitter and kind of try to destroy my friend's happiness.
So, what does he think this is getting him? Because Kara is never going to like him if he acts like this.
Why would she?
Right. I mean, he should be there to comfort her when Jimmy rejects.
Unless he's looking for attention.
Yeah, but that's not the right kind of attention.
Well,
is what I'm saying.
You don't really think this through.
But I was like, what a wimp. What? I don't like him very much in this.
At least until Kara goes and finds that Wynn has a secret room full of photographs on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And Kara's picture all blown up in 8.5 mosaic.
Right.
8.5 by 11 mosaic.
I'm starting to really get irritated with the Wynn.
Yeah, I am too.
Really get irritated.
Yeah, it's like shut up, Wesley.
Right. Isn't it?
Shut up, Wynn.
And he was helpful in this one by bringing her the folder with the information.
And then he hooked up Kat's little she makes this speech. Later.
Oh, the speech was good too.
Yeah, she does this inspirational speech. And I like the way they kind of juxtaposed it with Kara talking the robber to giving over the handgun.
Right, because they were both pretty inspirational.
And they were both being very heroic in their own way.
Right. And it's kind of like a lady power moment.
Right.
In that instant. And then at the end of the episode, she goes to talk to Kat, and it's one of those I'm hovering outside your apartment thing. And Kat's she wants to impart her wisdom, and Supergirl's like, I'm not here for that.
Right. I just
I
want to
just
say,
want to say thanks for backing me up. And then
Yeah.
she's like, off she goes.
yeah, got things to do. Bye.
Right. Right. I'm back now.
Yeah, I've got my whole romantic triangle to deal with. I'm swamped.
Right. Right. And I got to be your assistant tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got to get
I
up in the
gotta
morning.
go to work to have you treat me like crap
Right. Exactly.
and make fun of and not even call me Kara.
I did like that she kind of, said, no, I don't need your advice here.
Right.
And then at the end, of course, she's attacked by her aunt and the
Yes.
3 toadies.
Yeah.
And they have now apparently something that subdues her. So they have used the kryptonite
Right.
to their advantage, it looks like.
Now, real quick, I do want to cover one thing before we give our ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got the whole kind of backstory about Henshaw.
Right.
A little bit, at least from the Martian Manhunter's perspective.
Right. When he says what happened to Jeremiah and Hank.
Yeah. So after Jem gets taken care of, Alex gets in this, they're in this closed room with Henshaw, and he admits, oh, I'm not Henshaw. Henshaw really died the same time as Jeremiah, your father. Apparently the DEO was tracking a lost alien found in Peru. Jeremiah objected to this. He died trying to stop Henshaw from killing the alien.
Mm-hmm.
And then Henshaw, air quotes, explains that, oh, by the way, I'm a shapeshifter. I assumed Henshaw's identity to reform the DEO.
Right.
And I promised Jeremiah I would take care of you, Alex, because I'm the Martian, I'm John Jones.
Right.
The Martian Manhunter. And everybody's
And then
Twitter
he's amazing.
Yep.
And I'm glad he's on the show.
And they did it all shapeshifty, so he's all green and he's alien-y and
right. And the makeup looks amazing.
They didn't screw him up.
No.
Physically, so that's cool.
He looks great. Now, the deal is, yes, he's reforming the DEO, but how? Is my question, because it still looks like an I Hate Aliens agent.
It does, doesn't it?
Me. Right. And it's been what? 5 or 6 years at least that he's been there?
Yeah. Now, here's what I'm wondering, though. I'm hoping that they haven't turned the Martian Manhunter into a bad guy like everybody else they're turning into.
It doesn't look like it.
I hope not, because
it doesn't look like it.
I'm going to be really pissed if they make
I doubt they have, because please, he's one of the founding members of the JLA. How can they do that to him? They can't, right? They just can't. And who is the other person that knows who he is?
That's a good question.
Right. Because he says one other person knows who he is.
Yeah, we'll find out.
So is it Superman? Is it the other Hank Henshaw? Is it?
Yeah. I don't know.
And why couldn't he tell Alex who he was?
Right.
Alex can keep a secret.
Yeah.
And why can't he tell Kara?
So many questions.
I know.
So many questions.
Those are the questions I have about that. And I am really, I don't get why he hasn't reformed the DEO at this point. Why is he working with General Lane? Why?
Mm-hmm. Rating.
Sorry. 9 incredibly flimsy elevator cables. And we get a new episode next week before hiatus. It is called Hostile Takeover. I'm just keeping people abreast of when the hiatus is happening on these shows. So what is your rating?
You go all abreasty then. Do your abreasting.
What is your rating?
I give this one 8.5 out of 10 forehead gems.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
It was a good episode. I liked it.
I know I'm picking it apart, but
yeah, it was kudos to the reveal. That's why I got the extra half point for me, just for that reveal, because it's
the fooling of us.
Yeah,
was really.
I mean, you're like Hank Henshaw, Cyborg Superman, and then they kind of played that up with the red eyes, and you're like, ooh, and we kind of bought into it. And then
I really bought into it.
No, a lot of people.
I'm not going to lie.
Some people didn't get fooled. They were like, well, maybe he's the Martian Manhunter because they weren't as familiar with Cyborg Superman.
Right.
And it turns out they were right.
I know.
So
kind of pisses me off, but I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I love Martian Manhunter. So
okay, moving on in the DC universe, The Flash.
Are we doing The Flash next?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
What do you want to do? iZombie next?
No, The Flash is great.
Okay, is that cool?
You go.
All right.
You go, girl.
Okay. Pause. All right.
You go, bro.
Bro. Episode 9, bro. Running to Stand Still. And no, not the U2 song. She's running to stand still.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice, crooner.
Yep. Written by Andrew Kreisberg, showrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Kevin Tencherowin, the name
Tencherowin,
the name that
Karen has
hates.
finally gotten.
Yeah, right. So
I don't hate it anymore. I'm good.
This was cool because we get a team up of not one, not two, but 3 rogues.
Okay, 2.5.
2.5.
He doesn't really team up with them.
That's true, but he does make an appearance.
He does.
So I guess we do have kind of 4 because of Zoom as well.
Okay, yeah.
So Zoom's there. So there's
4 villains.
4 villains.
2 team up.
2 team up. One goes along for the ride for a little bit, and then goes and has Coco.
Right. He kind of does, doesn't he?
Yeah. We'll get into that.
He's just released now in order to go on to Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay, so real quick, we're at the crime lab. Barry and Patty are making out when Iris walks in.
Mm-hmm.
Patty's like, "Oh, I guess it's my time to leave."
Yep.
And then Iris, yeah. And then Iris starts crying. She breaks down.
Yeah.
And then, I can't keep this a secret anymore. I know I was kind of a jerk about you guys keeping secrets last season, so kudos to them for acknowledging that.
She was, yes.
She was. Mm-hmm. So kudos there. So she admits that to Barry that her mom had a son that Joe knows nothing about, named Wally West.
Mm-hmm.
Who is apparently not her cousin, or nephew, rather, as he is in the comics.
Right.
Because apparently they couldn't be bothered to invent an older brother so that Iris could have a nephew.
Well, it's just easier this way, isn't it?
It's not that hard to invent an older brother.
Does it matter?
And he's got a kid.
Does it matter?
Well, yeah, it kind of does.
Why?
Because in the comics, Iris or Wally is.
Okay, does it really matter?
Yes, it does.
Why?
Because I'm a Flash fan, diehard, and it matters to me.
Okay.
So
it doesn't matter to me at all.
It doesn't have to matter to you, but it matters to me.
Okay.
Okay. Weather Wizard breaks Trickster and Captain Cold out of Iron Heights to team up and kill the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That's his plan.
Yep. Bad plan.
Yeah. Apparently, Captain Cold's not really going along with it, though.
Right. Now,
he kind of hears them out. He's like, okay, let's see where this goes.
The Weather Wizard actually made a safe bet on him.
Why is that?
Well, because he feels like Captain Cold probably does have an issue with the Flash.
Right.
And it's a pretty safe bet that, breaking him out, it would get, his token taken care of.
Right.
And also, he knows that he's probably got a thing for the Flash.
Yeah.
So it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
And so and
he's a smart guy.
Right.
So yeah.
When he gives him this proposition, he figures that Captain Cold will take him up on it. Leonard.
Captain Cold. He's Captain Cold.
So he figures he'll take him up on it. So I think it's a smart move on his part.
Right.
Plus, that favor's wiped out now.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about Captain Cold holding this over his head.
Yeah.
But the only thing that is the issue is his other breakout,
which he doesn't know about. Well, no, you're right. He worries about James Jesse, the Trickster.
Yeah. The Trickster is probably a problem that he shouldn't have taken on.
Because the Trickster's all about chaos.
Right. And even though he knows that it's an asset in the I Hate Flash camp, it's a detriment in the chaos. I don't know what's going to happen camp, right?
Well, maybe the Weather Wizard is just a really big Star Wars geek. And it's like, oh, Mark Hamill. No.
Yeah. Maybe he wanted free passes to get in next week.
Yeah. But again, how great is it to have Mark Hamill in this episode?
It's true. I could
watch him as the Trickster all day.
Me too. I could too. He's crazy good in this.
And he gets all the best lines in this
and
episode.
It's not the only reference to a Star Wars movie this week either.
Nope.
There was one in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Yep.
Oh, look, Tatooine.
Yep. Exactly. I was wondering if you're going to catch, but we're jumping ahead there.
Yeah.
All right. So, so Iris gets Barry to kind of be there with her as she tells Joe about Francine being pregnant when she left, when Iris was as a kid. Joe takes this in that he's got a son, and he's like, "Okay, I got to process this. I'm out.
Right. I don't know what to do with this information.
I'll catch you later. Bye.
I'm overloaded. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Right.
So
Sleepy time.
So Joe has gone bye bye.
Yeah.
Iris and Barry end up going home. Well, who do they find right there by the fireplace having cocoa without marshmallows, because apparently they suck.
Yeah.
And not having marshmallows with cocoa. Captain Cold sitting there. There's, of course, the initial friction between Barry and Captain Cold. Leonard.
Well, they're not exactly besties.
No, they're not. They're not. But eventually, Snart warns Barry about the trickster and the weather wizard working together. He tells him that, well, not really feeling it.
There's nothing in it for him.
There's no money or anything, so he's not really. But Barry kind of figures out that, well, are you just trying to repay me back for helping save your sister?
I think Flash called that.
And you can't handle the idea that you owe me something.
Right. And I think that's echoed
in
the storyline with the weather wizard, that, it's a kind of parallel storyline.
Right. Now, Cole doesn't admit this, but he kind of smiles like, yeah, we know.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. And then he runs off.
Then he runs off, and he's
gotta go.
Yeah,
I got another TV show.
I got a spin-off I'm filming. Right. I gotta go. Bye, everyone.
I gotta go to another city. I gotta travel through time.
Yeah. Things to do.
Yeah.
The trickster takes over the TV, calls the Flash out. Making fun of some really twisted Christmas carols in the process, which were hilarious.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
I liked them. And it wasn't just Jingle Bells Batman smells, because he's not the Joker. So
no, he's not. Not here, at least.
Yeah, I still love that episode of Batman the Animated Series, Christmas with the Joker, when he did that. That was hilarious.
All of the ones where he's the Joker are hilarious.
They are. They're all gold. So Team Flash tracks the trickster down at a toy factory. Surprise. Patty, for some reason, is already there. And not sure how she figured it out.
Same way they did, probably.
Maybe she's smarter than them.
Well, not smarter than Wells.
Well, she figured it out first.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. So she and the Flash end up getting surrounded by a swarm of deadly dreidels, which were great.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because like the trickster's like, well, why should we focus on Christmas? Let's have Hanukkah have all the fun.
That's right.
Fun too. So it was very, very cosmopolitan of him.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're spinny and
deadly. Yep. After they
maybe he saw Inception too many times.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah, spinning top. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So after the Flash uses his little cyclone arms to get him and Patty out of that trap, he ends up confronting the weather wizard, who flies away. So the weather wizard can fly now, which they've kind of recently done after Jeff Johns. So he can do that now.
Now, Cisco tries to make an explanation based on weather, and Wells shoots it down right away and says,
he does.
He can fly now.
But why not just explain it with weather? But that would be...
I know.
But I love this chase sequence because the Flash chases after him. And he's like racing over rooftops and whatnot. And there's a cool shot, great shot, where he's racing across a helicopter blade. That's like, as it's, like the helicopter's in air and the Flash being so fast, he can run right across that helicopter blade as a bridge.
I know. It's awesome, right?
That was such a cool shot. I love that.
I love the special effects that they make of him running are exemplary. I really dig them.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's top notch for a TV series instead of a movie. They do a good job. So Jesse and Martin, they explain that they've placed these bombs and Christmas gifts throughout the city and threaten to set them off if Barry does not sacrifice himself.
Mm-hmm.
Wells goes off to find one bomb in a hilarious, like, Terminator reset.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, your toys, give them to me. That's right out of Terminator. I love that.
Yeah.
I got that. Then he uses, and the poor kid is hilarious. He's like, Mom!
There's a man stealing my toy.
Yeah, something that.
Uh-huh.
The Reverse Flash is stealing my toy. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. So Wells uses this drone of Cisco's to send the one toy, the one bomb, through this dimensional breach, and then reverses the polarity of the neutron flow.
Mm-hmm. You like that sentence, don't you? Reverse the polarity.
Yeah, reverse the polarity of the neutron flow. Because as a Doctor Who fan, I just thought it was hilarious that they're altering the magnetic polarity.
Mm-hmm.
So they're reversing the polarity.
Yes. Speaking of which, listen to Next Stop Everywhere, a podcast all about Doctor Who.
Free plug. Awesome. Thank you.
That's right. Ding, 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 ding.
Cheers for that. Which occasionally you guest on.
That's right.
And I hope you guest on again soon.
I would love to.
So yeah, they basically use that to attract the rest of the bombs. They all get kind of sucked up through the breach, and they explode, and everybody's safe.
That's right.
So of course, with the bombs gone, hey, guess what? I can use my super speed again.
That's right.
And he does so quickly.
And Jesse goes, uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, as he gets tied up with Christmas lights.
Mm-hmm. Which was really funny.
Because 'tis the season.
Right.
And easily subdues Martin and Jesse. Patty shows up, though, looking for revenge on the Weather Wizard because the Weather Wizard killed her dad.
So where did she get that thing that hooked to Barry's leg?
That boot device. I'm glad you brought that up because she uses the boot device to mobilize the Flash. Now, this is the same device that Cisco introduced early in the season at the Central City Police Department.
Oh, when he was walking through?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
But what was it supposed to be for?
I don't know what it was supposed to be for, but Patty's using it to immobilize the Flash.
So it's a callback to that.
Yeah, so apparently Cisco has invented another device to hurt the Flash.
Or to hurt.
Yeah.
It was meant to hurt Zoom,
the reverse Flash, yeah. But
right.
Still, if you could use it against one speedster,
that's right.
Why not the Flash?
So we might see it again.
So Patty got her mitts on that and knew that...
Patty.
Patty shakes fist.
Mm-hmm.
So she's ready to kill Martin, but Barry talks her out of it because he's the Flash and he just watched Supergirl, and so he got all inspired to talk people out of doing something they shouldn't.
Right. Yeah, and he does.
So Trickster's like, he's all weepy and crying, like, that was beautiful, man.
Yeah. He's so unhinged.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, back at the West House, everybody's having their little Christmas get together.
Yep.
Jay helps Caitlin hang mistletoe.
Okay, one of the funnier gags in this episode was Jay pretending not to know about stuff and Caitlin explaining to her.
Yes.
To him.
And she's totally clueless.
So clueless. Thinking that Earth 2 was so different.
Right.
That they don't have Christmas, they don't have mistletoe.
Jay's like, we have Christmas.
Right. Really? And her just completely buying into it.
Yep.
It was so funny.
And I like the fact that Cisco was kind of calling out Jay and Caitlin for not kissing.
Right. Get a room already.
Yeah, like, come on.
Yeah. Just kiss already.
Yeah. And so they finally kiss, and he's like, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Patty.
Although I don't think it's finally. No. I think it's rather quick after she's lost her fiance.
Well, it was a little peck. Husband. It was a little peck. It was it wasn't like a big tongue kiss.
Still.
Yeah. It does seem a little rapid.
Yeah.
Considering she hasn't seen the body of Ron.
Although he is kind of fast, I heard.
Ba-dum-bum.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see. Patty tells Barry that she needs to tell Barry something. I'm glossing right over that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So apparently she has to tell Barry something, but she doesn't say what it is.
Okay.
I'm pregnant. No, wait.
No,
No.
please.
Yeah, I
no.
know. Um,
Because
there's a
then we'd already have Bart Allen, wouldn't we?
well, that's his grandson, unless they change it to his son,
Right.
because they could,
Right.
since they don't respect the lineage
Right.
of
Anything.
Okay, enough griping. There's a knock at the door.
Knock, knock, knock.
Guess who's there? But opens the door.
Wally.
Wally West.
That's right.
Who shows up, played by Keenan Lonsdale.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Oh, I guess you have company. No, come on in."
Mm-hmm.
So we invite him in.
Hey, this won't make for an awkward Christmas.
No, not at all. Hey, person we just met for the first time ever.
Yeah. Do you think Mom's dead?
Yeah. Not
I
yet.
do.
Not yet.
I do. I think she's dead.
I don't know. You think he would have called and said, "Oh, by the way, Mom's dead. You want to show up at the funeral?" But anyway. So there's that, but then we have a little extra credits scene where Zoom visits Wells and agrees to release his daughter only if Wells helps him steal Barry's speed.
So again, Wells is paralleling the other Wells because he has to help Barry get fast. Only this time it's against his will.
Under duress, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Unless Wells doesn't, is really the Reverse Flash and takes the Flash's speed and becomes the Reverse Flash again. I don't know. It could happen.
It could happen. You're right.
I'm
not shaking my head at you.
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head if the writers do that. But I think they're more original than that.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Who do you think the Zoom is?
Well, if you go by the physical build, he appears to be John Wesley Shipp.
He does kind of.
So he could be like the Earth 2 Henry Allen.
Mm-hmm. He could be.
So
that's part of my thinking.
But, that could be a complete fake out, and the guy would be like, maybe really actually is somebody else entirely. I
had some fleeting thoughts that it might be Joe.
Evil Joe.
Even Barry.
Yeah, it could be Barry. But apparently I think we meet Barry in an upcoming Earth 2 Barry in an upcoming episode.
See, I thought he was just going to Earth 2.
I don't know. Maybe he is. It was just one of those,
he's in a suit.
Pictures. There. Yeah, he's in a suit and he's got nerdy glasses on and yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So rating.
Because the thing is that, we brought Jay over here and he lost his power. So I thought maybe they were taking
could be
Barry over there and that means he loses his powers over there.
Possibly.
But that's just me. It could really be the Earth 2.
Yep.
So I gave it 8 capitalizing on Star Wars episodes, ? Or really gullible scientists. And you gave it?
I gave it 9 out of 10 dreidels. They made you out of C4.
I like that.
Which I thought
it would be a good thing to do if you wanted to make Bong.
Which I thought that was hilarious. I just thought it was great. Because essentially Mark Hamill obviously uses his Joker voice as the trickster.
Of course.
It's the same voice.
Essentially the same character.
It's essentially the same voice and same character, but it's great either way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm good with it. So this was the hiatus inducing episode. Yes. I refuse to use the other terminology.
Yeah. Mid-season.
And the 10th episode will air on January 19th. Mm-hmm. So we only have a month or so to wait for the next episode.
And even less for iZombie, which returns the week before.
Correct, the 12th.
And speaking of which, iZombie.
Let's move on.
As I so cleverly worked in.
Very nicely.
Episode 9, Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Diane Ruggiero Wright. Do we know?
Smallville, Lost. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Ruggiero Wright. Veronica Mars and Dirty Sexy Money. She also wrote the Veronica Mars movie.
Okay, cool. And directed by Marzi Almus.
From Smallville, Lost Girl, and Being Human US.
Awesome. Well done.
So some nice pedigrees.
This was basically the Liv becomes a superhero episode, and I kind of enjoyed this quite a bit.
Did you?
I did. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I'll tell
I
you.
am becoming a bit tarnished on my iZombie.
Are you a little losing interest?
No, I'm not. I still like the show. I feel like it's
dragging,
running to stand still.
Ooh, well played. Well played. Okay, so we open with this woman named Mary running from a purse snatcher. She ends up saved by a man in a mask and a cape, calling himself the Fog.
Mm-hmm.
But the next morning, the garbage man finds the Fog dead in a dumpster.
That's right. No, I have to say.
Yeah.
If you're a Castle watcher,
superhero fail.
Castle did a superhero episode
right
about 3 seasons ago that was quite similar to this.
Well, there's kind of a reason. I'll get into that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. We have Blaine bringing this guy Drake to the morgue.
Right.
Who's like who's bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaine suggests that Liv scratch Drake in order to save his life. Apparently, Drake's the only one who knows where to find the tainted utopium.
Yep.
So Robbie's like, you better scratch the guy.
Yep. And she does.
And she doesn't like it. She doesn't because she's just created another zombie.
Yeah. And that is not her life's mission.
Nope, she's not happy with that. So we get back to the mystery of the week. Clive and Liv interrogate, and it's always fun in the interrogation room with Clive and Liv. Interrogate the superheroes Ghost Cobra, Gray Area, I love that name.
Yeah.
Superfly, Mega Fist, and the Blue Swallow.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Black Canary, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I know.
Now this is a nod to the real life Rain City superhero movement, which is a real thing, that there are wannabe superheroes in Seattle going out and fighting crime. This is what they were basing this on.
Really?
Look up the name Phoenix Jones, because he's kind of like the leader of this group. He's the most well-known of them. But
interesting.
Yeah, so look up Phoenix Jones, and this is actually a real thing. So, and because they're in Seattle, which is where the Rain City superhero movement is, it made sense for them to actually incorporate this into the show.
That's excellent.
So that's another reason I enjoyed this episode a lot. This is something that I've been kind of like mildly interested in for years now. And every so often we get this update about stuff like either Phoenix Jones like stopped this robbery or was, whatever. And so
apparently he declared it over last year though.
Well, apparently it's not over on iZombie. So
yeah.
So this group of superheroes, they say the Fog was planning to stop the shipment of big guns. And they didn't want any part of it because they're like, hey, I'm just a regular person. I'm not going up against a crime lord.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the Fog was really intent on doing that. He was the only one really taking it seriously.
Right. All the other ones are like, dude.
Yep.
I work at a whatever.
Yeah, grocery store or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. On a tangent here just for a second.
Yeah.
I looked up pictures of these guys.
Right.
And when I expanded the picture, it went right under your picture on my screen.
Yeah.
And you look like a superhero right now. Which is awesome. You have like a yellow stripe right now, right here.
Okay.
Like the Phoenix does. Very cool.
Cool.
It's very cool.
Why, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Liv.
I'm gonna line it up now.
Yeah. So Liv, of course, eats the Fog's brain because she's trying to get Stalker brain out of her head.
Right.
So
which
she can't. She's like,
would be a good thing.
Wannabe superhero brain's probably like, okay, that's much better than Stalker brain.
Yes.
So of course she ends up like eventually like deciding, well, I'm going to go off and fight crime and for justice.
Mm-hmm.
So she ends up getting a costume with a mask, which is kind of hilarious to see her in a superhero costume.
Mm-hmm.
With her zombie skin. I thought that was funny. So she goes to this warehouse where Boss's men, that the recurring crime lord boss. He's been selling guns to buyers, and she sees Mary, the woman from earlier, tied up in a chair or whatever, frees her. But then Mary turns around, knocks her out with a snow globe back to the back of the head, and almost shoots her, but then ends up getting shot by Boss himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, something a little hinky here. Meanwhile, Major has been hunting zombies again. He ends up meeting up with this zombie her name is Natalie, who seems like a lovely lady zombie. He kind of flirts with her a little bit. He kind of admits all the stuff he's kind of been doing.
Makes me sad.
Yeah, because apparently Natalie is not coping with the whole zombie thing. Apparently she was like a hooker before, a prostitute.
A call girl.
A prostitute, whatever. Yeah, call girl.
A high class.
Yeah, yeah. So apparently she had clientele, and she became a zombie, but she really is not coping with it well. So Major's talking about like what he does, and she thinks this is a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of all for this. So he talks her, well, she kind of talks him into letting her go into the storage locker cooler of doom. She makes him promise that if there's a cure, if this cure doesn't happen, cure for zombieism, she wants him to kill her instead of having her come back as a zombie because she can't deal with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So then he like takes out the old knockout serum, knocks her out, puts her in the cooler with Blaine's dad and a couple other guys that he's avoided killing outright. And that's it. You're typing away.
Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm listening to you.
Okay. So let's see what else. Liv wakes up, discovers that Boss called the police after killing Mary and removed these weapons that he was trafficking in. So Liv's not happy about that.
Right.
They don't really have anything on him. He knows this, and he's like, la, 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 I'm out of here. So Clive is kind of upset that Liv went ahead and almost got herself killed. Tells her, well, I can't work with you anymore because you're not a cop, and you're almost getting yourself killed. So Liv's like, but this is kind of my thing.
Right. And this is the second week in a row that they've come close to severing their relationship.
Yeah, so it's been kind of building a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Liv goes home, ends up, she finds Major there trying to be more empathetic, but kind of bordering on the pathetic, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And Liv says that she's changed permanently as a result of all these brains and whatnot. So Liv feels that they need to break up. So Clive kind of breaks up with Liv. Liv breaks up with Major.
So stupid.
Major leaves. He's like, well, someday Ravi will find a cure and we can work this out and be together.
So stupid.
Yes. And then the cliffhanger for the episode is Ravi finds that the cured zombie rat reverted back after 6 months, which of course suggests that Major and Blaine will also revert back to becoming zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
That's right.
So,
that's it.
Okay. As Karen remains pretty silent during that episode.
Well, like I said,
you're just frustrated.
It just doesn't seem to be moving forward very much.
I know. It does.
Major's doing the same thing every week. The only thing that happened this week is that he got a deeper understanding of what the zombie people are going through. But he's still doing the same thing.
Right. He does go through this cycle.
Yeah.
Major does.
Right. Liv drank someone else's brain or ate someone else's brain. And
Now, how funny was it, though, that the hero brain was put into a hero sandwich?
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Very sly.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what did you give this one?
Yeah. So I gave it 7.5 frustrating relationships.
It was
Because they're never on the same page. Why are they ever together?
Right. They're really not good for each other.
No, they're horrible for each other.
Yep. But maybe Liv has finally realized this, hopefully. Once and for all.
Yeah.
Maybe now they can hook up Liv with Blaine.
Oh, God, no.
Well, it's a whole Buffy Spike thing.
Well, now that Ravi is not with Peyton, why not live in Ravi?
Yeah, Ravi, I know.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, that would be a much better couple.
Yeah. So what is your...
I give this one 8 out of 10 wannabe superheroes.
Yeah, we were pretty close on that one.
Yeah, but I did...
And as we said... I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Rain City Superhero Movement. It's kind of interesting if you want to check it out.
Rain City Superhero Movement.
Yep.
The 10th episode will air, like we said, on January 12th, 2016. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Maveth. Or Maveth, I don't know.
3/10. They said Maveth.
Yeah, okay, Maveth. Written by Jeffrey Bell.
From X-Files and Angel.
And directed by Vincent Misiano.
The Blacklist, West Wing, Prison Break, Arrow. In 2015, he was reelected as National Vice President of the Directors Guild of America.
Interesting. Nicely tag team. Well done.
That's right. We're awesome.
We are. So this Hydra, as we followed from last week, there's the Hydra team and Fitz exploring the blue filter planet.
Yeah.
And so they're traipsing along.
Tatooine.
Yeah, Tatooine, as Coulson referred, or no, was it?
It was Coulson.
It was Coulson. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
He wakes up from his fever dream after knocking himself out on the rock, and it's sad because he dreams of being with Rosalind in the bed, and she wakes him up.
Yeah, that was sad, wasn't it?
And he says, "Oh, Tatooine."
Yep.
And then
now, of course, the fact that ABC is owned by Disney.
Oh yeah,
and Disney owns Star Wars. Yeah, exactly. The whole it's underground marketing, or
right. And in the other case of Mark Hamill being on The Flash, I don't think it hurts that Star Wars is coming out this next week.
No.
So yeah.
No.
So we can't say anything in the other direction either.
No, we can't. No, we can't.
Yeah.
All right. So Fitz ends up reaching for Ward's gun.
Mm-hmm.
Ward threatens that if he doesn't make it back, Simmons dies.
Right.
So typical Ward. Fitz tries to convince Ward that they're on this big goose chase, but after they go over this ridge, they find the ruins of a shrine with this big giant Hydra insignia.
Mm-hmm. Hail Hydra.
Yeah, Ward's like, Hail Hydra, like, see, told you so.
Yeah. That looked actually pretty cool.
Yeah. Although we didn't really get the backstory of what happened.
No, we didn't.
So I kind of wonder what's.
But it looked kind of like a miniature.
Yeah.
But it was also really awesome looking.
Right. So. It was, because it was kind of like ruined and half ruined and everything. It looked pretty cool.
Very cool.
It looked cool. Fitz, basically biding time until he can dive inside one of Will's hatches.
Mm-hmm.
Because after getting all the information from Simmons on this,
which was actually very smart, I thought.
It's Fitz, of course.
He's great.
So he finds Will, who recognizes him from the pictures. Yeah, Will, air quotes.
Laser beam Will.
Laser beam Will. And Will supposedly recognizes him from Simmons' phone. Right.
Now, spoiler alert, it's not Will.
Right.
It's the entity or whatever.
Yes.
Which you predicted. But he wasn't the entity before this.
No.
He became the entity when
Simmons left.
Went through the portal.
Right.
Okay. So
I was kind of half right about that.
When he took over Will's body, he got all his memories, I guess.
Probably.
Because he recognized Fitz from the phone. Okay.
Right. So apparently he can pretend to be whoever he's taken over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to get that settled here.
No. I'm glad you did.
Okay.
So Ward follows Fitz inside the hatch. Mm-hmm. Fitz tells Ward that they're going to need Will to find whatever exit point out of the blue filter planet.
Right.
So he's kind of necessary.
And it's a smart move.
Yep. As far as Fitz knows.
Right. And he can also be a guide to wherever they need to go.
Because remember, Fitz has promised to get Will back to Simmons.
Right.
Even though...
Well, he's in love with her, so he wants what makes her happy.
Wants her to be happy.
Right.
Mac, who's now kind of in charge, while Coulson's gone AWOL.
Right. Even though May's in charge, but May is off on her own.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he sends May and the Secret Warriors, aka Daisy, Quake, and Lincoln and Gutierrez.
Right.
It's
nice to see Gutierrez again.
Yep. Sends them to go find Simmons while he, Mockingbird, and Hunter infiltrate the castle and secure the portal room.
Right. How'd you like that scene where they were like, should we go after her?
Yeah.
She's like, right. Let's distract them. And she runs off and they're like, should we go after her? And you hear all this in the hallway, like she's beating everybody up all by herself.
Yep. She's doing fine.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Yeah, she's fine. She's good.
Hunter goes after her anyway, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was great.
That was great. I like that scene too. Simmons escapes herself after Campbell shuts down Hydra's power and discovers several Inhumans that Malik has gathered as an army, including Garner.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And she helps him to escape, and he helps her.
Yes, a little back scratching going on.
That's right. I'll do this, but that's not really how it works.
No.
But the way you said it.
Yeah.
And I have to say, no one should use zip ties to bind someone if they really want them to stay tied together, because there is a way to break out of them very easily.
There is. If you, it's almost like if you focus and concentrate, you can just snap them.
Right. Yep. And if you twist them just right, apparently there's a foolproof way to break out of them.
You can weaken them. Yeah. Yep. That's true. But for most people, they don't think to.
I know.
Yeah.
And most people don't know exactly how to. But if you want to know how, look it up.
Right.
There's a way to get out of them.
For all you bondage freaks out there. BDSM.
And how do I know how to get out?
Oh, yeah. How do you know?
Who knows?
Who knows, eh? Who knows? Oh, yeah. See, and you said the porn music wouldn't return later.
All you need to know is that I know.
Yep.
That's all.
To be continued. ...
Maybe not.
Yeah. Me with my stalker room and you. Okay. We all have our hobbies, don't we?
That's right.
Okay. Moving on. Simmons agrees to unleash Lash. Unleash Lash. Say that 3 times fast.
Unleash Lash.
Yeah. See?
Unleash Lash. Unleash Lash. Unleash Lash.
On Hydra before making her way to the others.
Yep.
Okay. Fitz and Daniels, meanwhile.
That was actually a good plan to let him go. And
it was.
And he took out all of the army.
Yes, he did. It's basically like use him as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. Fitz and Daniels lead Ward to the ruins of an ancient civilization where they managed to get away, while Coulson catches up to Ward and overpowers him, forcing him to follow them.
Yep.
And at the exit, Will attacks Fitz. Because, surprise, it turns out that the Inhuman, known as the Entity, killed Will as Simmons escaped and now inhabits his body.
Right.
Ward attacks Coulson.
Very sad, because I liked Will.
Yep. It's kind of like here where everything's just going to hell. Ward attacks Coulson while he's distracted by Fitz. And Coulson, still obviously bitter about Rosalind, as he would be.
Sure.
Right.
And not just that. I mean, Ward has been a thorn in his side forever.
For 3 years now.
Right.
So, yeah. It's not like he doesn't have a grudge.
Right.
Coulson uses his prosthetic hand to kill Ward, crushes him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just cold, like, boom, pushes his hand down and smushes it. And it's just like, his chest caves in. And it was all nasty.
And this is after he's shot him twice.
Right.
Coulson is not messing around.
No,
with
he's
Ward
not.
in
No.
this episode.
No, he's pissed off. So, and Fitz, meanwhile, uses a flare gun to destroy Daniel's body.
Right. Shoots him right in the back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And perfect aim, like from far
Fitz
away.
again.
Goes, psh.
Not fooling around.
No.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, back on Earth, May begins bombing the castle, or instead of storming it.
That's right.
See what I did there?
Speaking of which.
Yep. There's a containment unit that opens up. Daisy and Mac walk out, followed by Fitz and Coulson.
Mm-hmm.
So they're back. Simmons turns to Fitz because, oh, guess what? There's no will.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has to explain all that to her, and she's heartbroken and
she's
crying.
got the old tears in her eyes, looking all sad.
The thing is that the couples embrace, and then May and Coulson share a hug because they're close to each other.
Right. And
he's lost Rosalind.
Yep.
And what's his name? Gardner is Lash.
Right.
And he's off wherever.
Somewhere. Right.
So they're embracing. But
everybody's happy.
Simmons is like looking to see if Will has come back, and that's heartbreaking for Fitz, I'm sure.
Because she promised to bring him back.
Right, but still to see her not turning to him right away.
Now, at what point does he tell her, oh, by the way, the entity took Will over?
I don't know. It's going to have to be right away after this. I mean, we're not going to see it.
Yeah, hopefully it's not this drawn-out secret.
No, I don't think it's going to be.
Okay.
I don't. I think we're going to come back and she's going to know.
I burned up Will's body with a flare gun.
No. I think we're going to, she's already going to know when we come back.
Okay. So the last thing
that was heartbreaking.
It was. The last thing we get is this tease of Malik being driven to the airport, where all of a sudden Ward's there right in the middle of the road. Wait, didn't he just die?
Zombie.
He's a zombie.
Ward.
He's alive. But guess what? Yeah, surprise. The inhuman entity now is inside Ward's body.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the actor playing Ward Brett Dalton can now keep being on the show. Only he's the entity instead of Ward.
So now he's even worse than just being Ward.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I wanted to like him. I wanted him to be a good guy. Then I hated him. And now I'm going to hate him even worse. And he's just so cute.
Yep.
Why do I have to hate him? Why? And I really did like this episode. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good too.
Yeah.
So, rating.
8.5 discarded hands. Now, why did he take off his hand and throw it down on Ward? Coulson. Why did he do that?
Just like, you cost me my hand.
He dropped the mic.
He dropped the mic, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what did you give it?
I give it 9 out of 10 blue filtered flare guns.
Yeah. That planet does kind of get to me.
It does.
It's just all one color.
Well, and my problem with it is that everybody's skin is blue.
Yeah.
Because it's a blue filter.
Right.
So.
And they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. And like, why does the sky make your skin blue?
Right. I know. I get it.
So it's a blue
filter. I understand completely.
It's such an obvious blue filter.
Right. And this one actually is taking an extended hiatus. It is coming back on March 8th.
Right. But we have Agent Carter filling in.
Correct.
So we get those episodes, which will be cool.
That's right.
I loves me some Agent Carter.
Yeah. So
Arrow, last one.
Mind you, Ward has Coulson's hand in the end as well.
That's true. You're right.
So I guess that's why he drops his hand, so that we can have that thing at the end.
So he can go like hold it up and wave to him with it.
Whatever. I mean, I don't get why he drops it, but
I think it's just so that the audience knows that it's the same Ward that came back from the planet.
Well, no, I get that, but I don't understand the motivation behind Coulson leaving it there.
Yeah, it seemed kind of like
I get the motivation behind the writers writing it that way.
It seemed like a waste of a bionic hand.
It does kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess he just didn't want it because it touched Ward.
Or
it has booties now.
well, he killed Ward with it, so he doesn't. He just wants to leave that there.
Okay.
That's my guess.
All right.
Like, if I was writing it, I would say, well, okay, I'm leaving it there because it's associated with Ward, with killing Ward.
With his death.
So
I
don't want to see it again.
Okay. Okay.
That's my.
That's a reasonable explanation.
That's what I would do.
I'll take it.
I don't think we'll get that, but
yeah.
That's
Let's pretend.
Because
okay. Last but not least, Arrow.
Arrow, episode 9, Dark Waters.
That's right. Which is said very, very late in the episode. And I didn't get why it was Dark Waters. I thought it might be because of the diving.
Right.
Part of it.
Yeah, I did too.
And I don't get what the flashback was about at all in this episode.
I don't either. I got one thing out of the flashback.
Okay.
Which I'll say right. Well, like he goes back to the Amazo.
Right.
The ship to acquire more maps, like you said, and then when he comes back, Conklin finds him.
Right. That's it.
That's it. That's all you need to know for the flashback.
That's the whole flashback.
So, unfortunately, yeah, we need more Hot Girl flashbacks or something.
Right.
Or Constantine, because those are the only time I care about the flashbacks.
Right. I was like, what?
I don't care.
Who cares? Right.
I don't
care. Okay,
care.
so now that we've got the flashbacks out of the way, let's talk about the whole rest of the episode.
Let's talk about the important things that are happening. So this is written by showrunner Wendy Miracle, Ben Sokolowski. And
Desperate Housewives, Eastwick and Eli Stone for Wendy Miracle. And Ben Sokolowski, The Flash and Cloverfield. I didn't know he worked on Cloverfield.
I didn't either.
Okay.
Interesting. And director John Baring.
From The Flash and Grimm.
Yep. So we start off at Oliver's campaign, starting an initiative to clean up the Star City Bay.
Yeah.
And so you got a bunch of people helping pick up garbage.
Puppet.
Yep. Now notice Oliver's not picking up the garbage.
No.
Yep.
Can't get his nails dirty.
You guys do that. I'm going to look good for the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to talk. People are asking him questions. To be fair.
Yeah.
They're asking him the questions.
Okay. So while this is going on, Damien Dark sends a drone. There's another drone. So we have a drone theme going this week on Superhero TV.
Mm-hmm.
So he sends a drone that begins shooting at people, injures several of them.
And again with the foreshadowing.
Oliver's not happy. Yeah, exactly. Right. The foreshadowing. I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
So back at the
camp, Felicity actually takes control of it and crashes it.
Yes.
She's the one that stops the shooting in this case.
Yeah, because he can't expose that he's Green Arrow.
Right.
Even though he could just throw something at it.
Right. In an ironic turn of events later on.
Right. Back at the campaign office, Felicity meets up with Mama Smoke, who's Karen's favorite character.
I totally forgot she was on this season until this episode, and I was like, oh, right.
Who's decorating for the holiday party.
Yeah. And by the way, she was on Glee as well.
Of course.
Just thought I'd let you know.
Because everybody, on Glee is going to show up on these shows.
Yeah.
So Mama Smoke ends up finding Oliver's engagement ring and begins squeeing like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, she screams like someone is stabbing her.
Yep.
Felicity actually thinks that something is going wrong.
Right. So, so yeah, it's all about like, well, is Oliver going to propose? Is Oliver going to propose?
Yeah.
Yep. Back at the Bayfront, Oliver calls out Damien Dark as the leader of the Ghosts and Hive.
This was actually a really brilliant move on his part to call him out publicly.
For the most part, but it's risky.
Yeah, it is risky, but it was a good move.
Right. I mean, basically he says, okay, all the crap that's been going on in Star City, all these attacks, this guy, Damien Dark, is responsible, and here's his picture.
Right.
So
it's brilliant.
He gets totally outed, and this hilarious moment where like Damien like blows up the TV because he's pissed, right. and then he's getting trolled by this Hive council member.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
How do you like being famous, Damien?
Yeah, pretty much. Like You know you're having a bad day when your underlings are trolling you.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
It was really funny. And he really did have a little temper tantrum there.
He did have a little bit. It really pissed him off.
And while it was a good move on his part, it also really spurred Damian to, to attack. He was on the defense now. So I got to get going on this getting back.
Pretty much.
Oliver thing. So
after failing to get any information from Damien Dark soldiers. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead a little bit.
That's right.
So in retaliation, Damien crashes Oliver's campaign holiday party.
Right.
Kidnaps Diggle, Felicity, and Thea.
Right. And opens fire as well.
Yeah.
So some people are hurt too.
Right.
Which Oliver is very guilty about.
So after failing to get any information from Dark soldiers, Oliver makes contact and agrees to exchange himself for them.
Mm-hmm.
Damien Dark tricks Oliver and attempts to kill them all in front of him.
This is something that I find is amusing too.
Yeah, right.
Why doesn't this happen in every show where the bad guy goes, okay, we had an oral agreement.
Yes.
And it was tenuous at best. Plus, bad guy.
Hello. Yeah, exactly.
Why don't people understand that?
I know.
That the bad guy is never going to actually do what he says he's going to do.
And
he's a bad guy.
And how great is Neil McDonough?
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he is just.
And he was like, bad guy. Who's got two thumbs and is the bad guy?
This guy. Exactly.
Exactly. It was fantastic.
So Malcolm, who is now dressed as Green Arrow, arrives with Laurel and they end up rescuing everybody.
Right.
So Malcolm's helping out now.
Yeah. Well, it's his daughter on the team.
It is his daughter. I agree. He's trying
Plus,
to save
he doesn't like Damien.
Yeah, that's true. There's a rivalry there, isn't there?
Yeah. So there might he might have more in it.
So he does have some skin in the game.
Right.
Okay. I got it.
I don't think he has a particular fondness for Oliver, but you know.
You think he'd be too busy hoovering up Vandal Savage to have
He's already in the pool.
To have time for this.
He's already in the pool, so.
Okay, all right. So the Hive leaders are all pissed off. They're not happy.
Right.
But Damien Dark says, well, relax, everybody. We're exactly where we need to be.
Right.
And so they go out this door into this cornfield. And I'm like, what, are we on Smallville now?
Yeah. I didn't get that.
Or the X-Files? What is this?
Yeah.
So he says that there's this algae, apparently from the bay, that is so important, which is why, like, because there's got to be a reason why Damien doesn't want Oliver messing with the bay.
Right.
So apparently this algae that's probably from the bay created these gas chamber fumes that's apparently fully breathable in this underground area.
Right.
So,
although it's like they're up in the mountains. So it's thin air.
But it's underground.
But it's breathable.
They have there's a ceiling.
Right.
So.
But he said it was thin air, like up in the mountains.
Oh, so. I see what you're saying. Okay. So is the plan apparently just to scorch the earth and we can keep existing in this underground?
I don't know. I'm as puzzled as you are about this whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It looked like he was using the algae to kill people.
That's what I
thought. But then he was also testing it on that guy too. So
it's got multi-purposes.
So which one of these?
Yeah.
Do I?
Yeah.
Do I marry her? Do I kill her?
Exactly.
One of these. Sorry.
Marry, kill, F. Which one?
Right. Exactly.
Yep. Okay. So we'll have to find out where they go with that.
Yeah.
So Oliver, there's like a second holiday party because the first one went so well.
Right.
Oliver makes this big inspirational speech, just like Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
And Cats. I was waiting for that. Wow. There we go. I was waiting for that. So they lights the Christmas tree, says, we won't let the terrorists win because America.
That's right. America, make it.
America.
Bacon and coffee.
And at that moment, he proposes to Felicity.
Yeah.
For realsies.
And she says yes.
She says
realsies.
yes, and the crowd applauds. Aw.
Oh, and they also reveal that Felicity's mom is dating Laurel's dad, and Felicity doesn't want the picture in her head.
Right.
Which
I don't think a lot of people want that picture.
I don't want it in my head. To be fair.
And then, last thing we get is the end of the James Bond film, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, where Damien Darhk sends his men after Oliver as they drive off together with Felicity in Oliver's limo, and they box in the limo, they shoot it up real good.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of Oliver escaping with the limo, Felicity is shot, and she appears lifeless. But guess what? She's in the trailer for next time.
Yeah.
After the hiatus, so she'll be fine.
Yeah.
So don't panic, Felicity people. But yeah, this was basically right out of On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah, looks like it.
If
Although I do have a couple of questions. Do you think that them being exposed to this allergy is going to do anything to them, the three of them?
I'm thinking, well, it's a good question.
Because they were exposed for,
I
don't know, a minute.
That's true.
And it was a different formula than the guy who died. And then they go outside, or they go down to the bottom, Dark and his cronies, and it's breathable. The algae has made that stuff breathable. So what is the stuff that they get exposed to?
Right.
Is that going to do something to them?
Or is this Damien going to be like pulling something on the Hive Council by getting them to breathe all this stuff in?
Right. Who knows?
And maybe he's immune to it.
Right.
So we'll find out.
And then, of course, Damien goes home to his wife and a kid, and
that was weird.
Star on a Christmas tree, which was weird.
Yeah, it was. It was just okay. I guess he has a family, and it's all.
But if you know anything about Damien Darhk, I mean, is that Deadpool's wife, or is that? I mean, not Deadpool.
Deadpool's more. You mean Deathstroke?
Deathstroke's wife.
Adelaine Kane.
Yeah, or is Deathstroke's wife one of the Hive people, or?
That's a good question. Because
she's part of Hive.
Yes, she is.
In the comics.
Right.
She's the queen bee.
That's a good question. Maybe, maybe that kid was Deathstroke's kid.
This is what I'm saying.
Maybe. That'd be interesting if Deathstroke shows up.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm just putting that out there.
That's a good theory. I like that. We'll have to see where it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see if there's more to support it. But
I do have those things.
Yep. So rating.
I give it 8. I hope he had a warranty TV.
Well, let me just go down to Walmart, pick me up a new TV.
That's right. But people never get that warranty.
No, why would you?
Well, on a big purchase like that, you really should get the 1 year at least. Because if something goes wrong in that first year,
but what are the odds of a TV going bad in 1 year?
You never know.
You need to make smarter purchases if you're buying a TV that could go bad in a year.
A lot of companies make TVs that go bad in a year now, though.
I don't know.
Okay, so what's your rating?
I give this one 8.5 out of 10 drones of death.
Dun, dun, dun!
Yeah.
And the 10th episode of Arrow will air on January 20th, 2016.
Right.
So the same week as The Flash.
So iZombie is back the 12th, and then next week, Flash and Arrow are back.
Correct.
Got it.
That's right.
All right. So next week, we only have 2 shows to talk about.
Right.
We have Jessica Jones episode 4 and Supergirl, and that's it.
Right. And I think we'll be throwing around some theories, maybe.
Is there a chance we could possibly get this under an hour?
Maybe.
No, this is us.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk for stuff.
And while we don't have feedback,
right?
Because Justina is on holiday this week.
Oh, I hope she's enjoying herself on holiday.
She is. I saw some pictures of her.
Oh, cheers, Justina. Hope you're enjoying it.
She's having a good time. We will give our information out.
Yes.
For those of you. We are on Twitter @FandomZoneCast. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast. And our email is fandomzonecast@gmail.com.
Fantastic. And Karen, where can they find you?
I was going to do you first.
I know, and I
Jump
threw
in
it.
there.
I flipped it back on you.
All right. I am at Aleveria, Aleveria on Twitter. Twitter machine.
Because ladies first. That's why.
Oh, well, thank you. So why didn't you go first?
Oh snap.
I'm just kidding. You know I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Aleveria on the Twitter machine.
Yep.
And there's a link there in my bio to my About Me page where all my links are.
Okay.
As I always say every week.
I know.
And where can they find you, sir?
Well, every episode might be someone's first episode.
That is true.
So we have to approach it that way.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just assume.
Yeah. And I like that you do yours the same way every week because I always read along with you.
Well, maybe I should change it up.
No.
So I can't say like first off my blog of geeky things and
you can. I don't care if you mix up which way you do it, but you can't.
Oh.
You can't say it differently.
Okay. All right.
You're not allowed.
Okay.
So I say it along with you.
So for the sake of anal retentive consistency.
No, OCD consistency. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
All right.
Where can they find you, Charles?
On Twitter. The Twitter machine.
Yay.
At Charles Skaggs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
At Charles Skaggs on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Google Plus for all you crazy kids.
Kids on the
Google Plus. Yes.
And your blog.
And the Facebook, of course.
Right.
Facebook account. Charles Skaggs. And my blog of geeky things, damn good coffee, and hot. And hot. Where I talk about... Yeah. All right.
I added that one in.
Need some
week.
fire.
That's right.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's where I talk about all those comic book and TV shows. Fandom Zone, of course, I talk about that. Mm-hmm. And that's where we also have links to our wonderful new T-shirts.
That's right.
That are also on
the T-shirts.
On TeePublic. So if you're a fan of the show, want to help support the show, click on the linky links and pick yourself up a shirt, and you'll look really cool wearing it.
That's right.
Oh, and if you do get yourself a shirt, while I'm thinking about it, if you do that, take a picture of yourself, post it on our Facebook page,
please,
or share it because we want to see these pictures of you wearing your Fandom Zone podcast T-shirts.
That's right, because we love you.
Yeah, exactly, and we will support you for supporting us.
That's right,
as it should be.
That's right.
All right, so I think that'll about do it.
That's right. That's everything this week.
Hopefully, shorter week next week because only 2 episodes.
It will be shorter. It will be a lot shorter. But we'll throw around some theories.
Well, we can actually get into more depth.
That's true.
Because we kind of rushed through these because there's so many shows. Now we can sit back and breathe a little bit and get into the meat of stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have a little more Martian Manhunter.
Yes.
Supergirl next week.
Yeah, that would be nice. Now that they've revealed this, I want more to find out
me
what's
too.
going on. So,
I love John Jones.
And we'll definitely have more of the Purple Man, David Tennant, on Jessica Jones.
So. I don't know what's coming up, so.
Oh, there's good stuff coming up.
So I hear.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So until then, we will talk to you later. And bye, everyone.
Bye.